we've done the program here, which is the sequence. Other ones, the selection.
Can't pick.
We just started, Mike.
Which one you like?
I like that one. Craig wants to carry on with this.
I have to because my phone's going to
Right. So the next thing, we'll just look at from the beginning. We used to select a drive. So the drives are selected depending on which press they are. So we have a different set of drives which we're allowed to select for both presses. So this is for press B, this one, and there is another one for press A. But we think we're a press B here.
I'm going to turn the screen just a little bit this way. There you go.
We think we're a press B. So we're selecting the drives that we can to this press. So there we are. Now on this, what we have here is, we know what sort of drive we are because we're really only looking for the new drives. We know we got a selection input, which is all the things that come in on them terminals. We know it is on. It's got to be on. And we know that we haven't disabled it from the HMI. Therefore the drive is active. So in this instance we go back to what we discovered in the sequence, that we have got 13, 16 and folder B drives. It's as simple as that. Now when the drives are selected, we have to be at standstill. We can't deselect a running drive from the HMI. This stops us doing this. It won't let us do that. It's not allowed. It wouldn't be a very clever thing to do.
No.
So that's just for every drive we have this run that stops you deselecting drives on running presses.
Or selecting.
Or selecting. And then from all these drives that we've selected, we then tell it to enable its Ethernet. Now that is important, because if we select a drive, and it's not on the Ethernet,
You get a comms fault.
you get a comms fault, and that's what this does. So if you ever see, I mean, this was part of our investigations of why that one didn't select. We would look at this rung here and check that we are actually telling the drive to be selected to the Ethernet. And we may have found that one, although we've selected, we haven't made it active.
Right.
And that's the place to look for that. And that's what this does. So that's... Now from that, when we've selected the drive to be on the Ethernet, the thing we have to do, we do this where we check that it's actually running. So we have this, and we'll just look at one of these rungs because they're all the same. We look at the status of the drive, and we check that it's either inhibited or the comms is okay. And subsequently we light the lamp and we actually put the status on the HMI. So if we've got one that says it's a comms fault, we would first look at this rung here and determine whether it is inhibited when it's not supposed to be, or whether it's okay. Now I suspect if we got a red thing on there, we'll find that it's inhibited. So therefore you go back to the previous rung, which was the selection, to check that the drive is selected. Although it could be active, it may not have been selected.
Okay.
So that's important.
When you say selected, you don't mean selected up on the unit. You mean selected.
Well,
first.
effectively it is, Craig.
Is it? Okay.
Effectively it's selected on the unit, or the clutch is closed, and then once select to the press.
Okay.
They have to be. We have to tell the Ethernet to be active. Now the shortcut is down here on on this thing here, you can see what drives are active. They don't have a little yellow thing. So we got the drive 13 on, no yellow thing. We got the drive 16 on, and we got the folder B drive on, and everything's happy. If one of them drives was not active and the comms was satisfactory, you would see something here. You can get triangles on here. The triangles indicate a fault. Shall we have a fault so you can see a triangle?
Sure.
Can we open the drive cabinet? So if I disconnect the comms, this is going to give us two sorts of faults. So this is the master drive, this one. So, what is it telling us here?
Oh, you disconnected the comms on the master?
Yeah, you got a red one.
You got a red one. There.
You got the master one red.
So you won't be able to run the press.
But you don't have a triangle on here yet.
Sorry?
There's no triangle on here yet.
Should have. There he is.
Oh yeah, I see it. It's a little tiny one.
It's like your labels, it has to fit on the screen.
Yeah.
So, the first thing you've got to do is find out whether it's not active, because it should be, or whether we've got this issue. Now look on the drive here. This is an important thing. Remember we talked about this yesterday. You get an orange light.
And the net A and net B.
Are not running.
Okay.
And
that's a result of-
The comms
Master.
cables.
And that's a result of the comms cable being unplugged.
Yeah.
Okay. What's it say up there?
Not enabled. Now, you can get these drives so that it tells you on the front it's a comms fault, but you've got a selectable system here, and every time the pressman changes the selection, they put a fault up there, and it's not one you can reset. You have to come and press the button, and that would piss people off. No.
Yes, it would.
So that's why we don't enable that. But it gives us the indication on here. And we'll now plug that back in.
And within a few seconds it'll talk. Yep, there we go. Everything's green here.
But the comms takes 5 seconds to reset itself.
there it goes.
Yeah.
DLC stop went away and then the comms cleared.
Because that puts, that run we talked about? The one with the drive sequence? That's a drive fault on an active drive. So that will put the stop on.
Right.
Did you want to see that?
What are we looking at?
You know that one we talked about on the drive, them 3 main rungs, the stop?
Right.
That would have caused a fault on that rung as
Yeah,
well.
bring that rung up. Don't duplicate that.
Let's see if we get there again.
So this is drive sequence, and we'll go back to the run. It'll just happen to be at the bottom of the program. There we are. And remember we were looking at this. So there's the drive. Can we take the comms off again? Drop.
Okay, so we lost this, and we lost.
No, we haven't lost that one. I don't know. Is it that one? No, because that's an inhibited one.
Okay.
So you need to scroll up, and you can see which one it is.
Use your mouse out here.
You just hit the up.
Ooh.
So you need to come down and because we're press B, so we won't be the first ones.
Yeah, let's just do this. 6
And they've all got.
A.
Oh, Jesus. We gotta stop for a minute.